Introduction to underage labor management. In the competitive realm of manufacturing, suppliers are often pressed to make more products in less time at lower costs. Even though underage labor is generally avoided by suppliers, there are still conditions that exist which result in the hiring of underage or child labor. Many countries are currently experiencing labor shortages, and suppliers can be tempted to hire anyone who shows an interest in working in their facilities. When recruitment processes are unprofessional and, at times, in communities where it is customary to hire underage labor, youngsters are often brought into factories to work. Such employment has severe consequences, resulting in fines by the government, damaged relationships with customers, and severe criticism from respected agencies. If child labor is discovered, in most cases, customers will require suppliers to go through a long process of ensuring that any child worker is safely returned home, enrolled in school, and provided with monetary restitution. This not only will damage your reputation among your community and customers, but your business will also suffer financially. However, there are steps that can be taken to minimize the risk of hiring underage labor. But first, let's understand why you should not hire underage labor. Social impact. Many children help their parents around the house, run errands, or assist their parents in their family business. Children learn many skills from these experiences, which also prepares them to work outside of the home when they grow older. When these tasks are done in a safe and healthy environment, it is good for the children, especially if it does not interfere with their schooling, so they can learn to be responsible and productive individuals. Hence, not all work done by children is harmful to them. Underage labor is only harmful when it deprives children of their childhood, health and development, and it refers to working conditions that are mentally, physically, socially, or morally dangerous and harmful to children. If the work interferes with the children's regular schooling, it is also considered underage labor. More importantly, children are highly susceptible to human trafficking, slavery, and exploitation. Let's look at why underage labor may occur. In cases where families depend on wages that a child earns for survival, survival is viewed as much more important than the child's education. Suppliers may be tempted to hire children because they demand cheaper wages, and children can be managed more easily. Child labor occurs frequently in developing countries because poverty necessitates that children work. It might be difficult for consumers in developed countries to understand such necessities because they rarely see such extreme poverty. The practice of child labor perpetuates intergenerational poverty. Just imagine the cycle. A poor family cannot afford to send their children to school. Children are forced to work. Children receive little or no education. And they can therefore only get low-skilled and low-paying jobs. The children then grow up and mature quickly, get married young and have children, and then the whole family remains in poverty. Former child workers, now parents, then lose their jobs to younger generations of children. But with limited opportunities for other employment, their children are now forced to work at a young age as well. This cycle leads to a bigger societal problem, creating a large pool of uneducated, low-skilled adult workers. Child labor is therefore both the cause and the consequence of poverty. Responsible suppliers should encourage children to go to school. It is essential that they accept this responsibility for the good of the community and the country as a whole where their goods are produced. The first step in adopting this responsible practice is for suppliers to be careful not to hire underage labor in the first place. Therefore, let's begin with preventative hiring practices. Hiring. It is generally agreed that underage labor is work done by children younger than the minimum employment age of the country, or the maximum age of compulsory schooling, whichever is higher. No one under the age of 15 should be hired. When suppliers have a shortage of labor, they are pressured to hire quickly to fill open positions, but they must be really careful with their hiring process. Suppliers should have policies and training that can guide hiring managers in the recruitment process to ensure age is verified and that falsified age documents are recognized. Legal and age documents can be easily forged in many countries, and suppliers must take extra steps to ensure potential employees are of legal working age. For example, requiring at least 2 official age documents to be presented and submitting medical examinations and dental records, as these can shed light on applicants' age. Hiring managers must also be alert when examining documents. Do the applicant's age documents look genuine and unaltered? Does the applicant look like the person shown in the ID picture? Some applicants might just want a job, and for convenience, they might borrow other family members' ID cards for their application. Thus, pay attention to young-looking applicants. In some countries, ID cards can be authenticated with government bodies and databases. During interviews, management must be trained to ask questions that can prompt answers to confirm age. For instance, asking which year the applicant started or graduated from school, or how many years since they were in, for example, grade 5. From questions, management should be able to calculate the applicant's age and verify if it is correct. If in doubt, suppliers should ask applicants to provide more information or better proof of age. If applicants are genuine, they will likely be able to provide what is needed. Remediation. When all verifications are done, but underage workers were still accidentally hired, procedures based on country laws, and if none exist, based on customers' policies, must be followed for immediate remediation. The overall best interest of the underage employee must be the priority. In general, the employee must be removed from the workplace, and the supplier must provide at least the financial support for the employee to return home, finish school or vocational training program until age 15, or the minimum legal working age, whichever is higher. If the employee is able to attend school with his or her family's resources, the supplier should still pay the employee the base wage until the time they finish school or vocational training. When the employee reaches age 15, or the minimum working age, the supplier must give them the option to return to work at the facility. If underage employees are detected, hiring managers must trace back the recruitment process, identify mistakes, strengthen policies and procedures, retrain recruitment personnel, and take actions to improve the process accordingly. Underage work can be detrimental to children's development, and suppliers have the obligation to ensure the healthy development of children within the community and their country. For more information on underage labor, please refer to the LF Supplier Compliance Manual.